Today we will hold another hearing to bring accountability to government agencies and regulators, a top priority for me as a subcommittee chairman in this Congress. It is a critical theme as the nation continues to experience one of the toughest housing markets that we've had. Testifying are the Inspectors General of both HUD, Housing and Urban Development, and FHA, the Federal Housing Finance Agency, whose work has been invaluable to Congress and to the American people. Inspectors General are in a unique position to ask tough questions, dig deeper, and ultimately root out waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. Fundamentally, they hold the government accountable for doing what the law says, whether or not people agree that it should be the law. And when it comes to HUD and FHFA, these two Inspectors General have their work cut out for them. Ms. Oliver Davis and her team have uncovered many deficiencies at HUD, including the failure of several public housing agencies to deliver on HUD's mission statement to provide decent, safe, and sanitary housing. We recently held a hearing on this very topic, and I can say that both sides of the aisle were appalled by things going on in our public housing authorities. The conditions for many residents of public housing are simply unacceptable, which is why the committees considered several bills to hold public housing authorities accountable. We all know that these problems are likely just the tip of the iceberg for HUD. However, I have introduced my own bill to create a bipartisan commission that would take a broader look at HUD. And their job will be to evaluate the entire agency, provide recommendations to Congress to make HUD work more efficiently and effectively, frankly, to update the authorizations, many of which have lapsed, and to hopefully make some improvements dealing with benefit cliffs and kind of a standardized income asset test that would address things that Secretary Fudge pointed out in dialogue when she came to testify in January. When it comes to government regulators like FHFA, which oversee about 70% of the federal housing market through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the first rule should be to do no harm. I can't say that FHFA is following that rule too clearly these days. Now is an especially crucial time for FHFA to provide stability and certainty and transparency in housing markets. American families seeking affordable housing need a safe and steady hand behind the wheel. Instead, they're getting a confused study and contrast. On the one hand, FHFA has made so-called mission activities front and center for its stated objective to, quote, promote affordable housing. And on the other hand, it's rolled out a pricing grid that would reduce affordability for credit-worthy borrowers. On the other hand, FHFA finalized a rule to require approval and public comment for the GSE's new products and activities. FHFA is supposed to promote home ownership and help first-time borrowers. In an effort to do that, they've greenlit a title insurance waiver program that has no transparency, and it's not clear that it will, instead of helping, cause harm to these borrowers. They're now considering a risky second lien. Actually, have decided to move forward with a second lien proposal for existing homeowners that would essentially add more debt against a secured asset and not just expose the borrowers to problems with their own mortgages, but expose the entire mortgage-backed securities market to additional risk and potentially cause a lot of harm. If only there were a precedent to learn from. Clearly, there is, in fact, precedent, and this is something we have no input from any constituency saying these second liens on mortgages is in real demand in the market. I have no one coming and saying, Congressman, as chairman of Housing and Insurance, you have to get this done. Instead, everyone's sounding the alarm. Can't we learn from the benefits of history? And they're not even following their own product development process, product approval process. So the list is long. I hope today's hearing will provide more clarity on FHFA's recent decisions. Even well-intentioned policies should not come at the expense of safety and soundness of the housing market. I look forward to hearing the testimony of both HUD and FHFA IGs. I thank you both for your work and for the opportunity for Congress to perform the essential oversight of your activities as Inspectors General.